So I have already reviewed the Sega CD and 32X. Both attachments are amazing ways to improve the quality of your Mega Drive gaming. At least it probably sounded good on paper. Both attachments probably have games that still give people nightmares, but put the systems together, you can open up 6 new games that thrive in this unholy trinity. 6 games that are all FMV, all at a slightly higher quality, and still not always full screen. Sounds exciting, hey? If you love FMV games, games like Night Trap are sort of considered pillars of the genre, and they do look a lot better with the 32X attached. Games like Corpse Killer, on the other hand, aren't really pillars of anything. So, do you really need a 32X to enjoy Corpse Killer, or could you get by with the Sega CD version instead? I'm thankful for any way to make the Corpse Killer experience a little bit easier. So, let's see what we're in for. So the whole concept of FMV games felt really promising, merging the beauty and artistry of cinema with an interactive gameplay element. One of the hurdles with the theory is that cinema quality video is really hard to do. Even movies struggle with it. Here, you're literally merging a whole video production into a video game production. There's gonna be hiccups.
Over there. I hear something.
So I already had the chance to check out Goosebumps Escape from Horrorland, a game out of DreamWorks Studios, and they were much better set up to tackle an FMV game. And the difference in quality is really noticeable. Going into a lot of the digital picture games, you really gotta love your B-grade films. So bad that it might be good.
Careful, man. They can be anywhere.
And Corpse Killer might nearly make an awesome B-grade movie. But for a shooter, I don't think Corpse Killer really gets enough credit. And don't get me wrong, I can't pretend it's a hidden gem. The shooting portion is so bare bones, it feels like it's just been added like filler between the cutscenes. But there was a little bit more depth to the gameplay than I first realised. Like most people who have played this game, all it takes is one finger slip to hit the mission abort button. It sucks. There is no warning or confirmation.
This retreat is probably a good thing.
You just get booted from the game and placed on a screen full of different FMV videos. So you're probably at the point of saying, well, that really sucked and I've got way better things to be doing. Well, just give the game one more minute. The main mission already feels so rushed, you can be forgiven for not realising they decided to add some extra terrible tasks. You're still doing the same thing, but this time it's for treasure, health, points, and poison bullets. For as bad as the gameplay is, I actually thought some of the costumes and locations looked pretty sweet. Granted, we're scrolling slowly to the right, but for such a low budget title, they did really capture that tropical atmosphere with these locations. Compared to a lot of other zombie games, this one actually has quite a nice vibe to it. It's a bit of a shame we had to shoot zombies at all. I could be totally happy just taking in the scenery. The nightmare doesn't really set in until you realise that to reach the final encounter, you need to assault the fortress 5 times. Of course it gets boring. We've already established this isn't a good game, but I kept playing it a little bit longer than I should have, just for the action-packed, totally ridiculous cutscenes. So a thought struck me that started to make this game just a little bit more bearable. I started to pretend this was the true sequel to Uwe Boll's House of the Dead movie. The first House of the Dead movie didn't exactly demand a follow-up. A bunch of teenagers go to a party on an island, Through dark magic and a rogue Spanish necromancer, the dead have overrun the island. Most bogus of all, killing everyone at the totally radical rave party. So if you're thinking, that doesn't really sound like the House of the Dead video game, well, you'd be right. The movie doesn't follow the plot at all. But that is why Corpse Killer could slide in so easily as a sequel to that movie. It's not going to make the gameplay any more riveting, but at least you'll have the chance to think about something else while you play the game. So, did you think those zombies just sort of flying at you looked pretty stupid? They actually planned it like that. It's a scary thought, but seeing the behind the scenes footage was a really good insight into how games like these were made. So, since getting the Sega CD and 32X combo, I've been dying for one sort of token game to just add to the collection. Corpse Killer was that game for me. It's pick up and play, there's a save function, and at least the story kind of worked with what the House of the Dead film was doing.
In life, they showed no mercy. And now, they've really got nothing to lose.
So the fact they couldn't leverage the Sega CD's awesome storage capabilities with the raw power of the Sega 32X is a little bit disappointing. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that just the Sega Saturn? And that system actually got a better Corpse Killer for it too. Not like I'm going to sit here and play all the different ports. If you do have a Sega Saturn, maybe you'd rather check out Crypt Killer. So don't get them confused. But Crypt Killer doesn't resemble the House of the Dead movie, but it resembles the House of the Dead game. It's a Konami light gun shooter, and it's a lot better. Compared to Corpse Killer, there's actually a lot of better games out there, obviously, and Corpse Killer doesn't really need any more attention, but FMV games are an interesting mix between two things I really love: filmmaking and video games. They might not always go hand in hand, but at least in Corpse Killer's defense, it was fun watching a game where the cutscenes were the focus, and I guess the gameplay was just there, so they could release it as a game. So, interesting thought. Corpse Killer probably has a lot more attention because it's a game. If it went straight to TV, it probably would have just faded into obscurity. Maybe the price tags associated with buying a game mean that people who bought this probably felt really burnt. So yeah, there you have it. Corpse Killer running on the Sega CD 32X. I think the only system in the 90s that exclusively played FMV games. Anyway, this might seem like a lofty dream, but could filmmaking and FMV video games ever get their own special retro revival? Maybe. Anyway dudes, thank you so much for watching. I'm sure it was plenty painful.